So hello everyone again. I titled my presentation Cracking the Codes, and you'll find out why soon. I come from Nigeria, and at the time I left high school for college in Nigeria, in every family you had to be a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer. I was in the arts and humanities class. I had no love for mathematics or anything like that. And when it was time to go to college, I said, I'll be the lawyer. I'd like to read law. It was the easiest thing to me. I didn't have to worry about economics, accounting, or anything like that. And so I went in for law, and I was turned down when I didn't get up to the cutoff mark. So I'm a law reject. And I got into, and I said to them, so what can I get? They said, oh, your name is on the list for English and literature. Like English and literature. Okay, I like English, but I'm going back to do law. And I went a second time to do law, and they said to me, your name is in the supplementary lists, meaning that everybody else had to go, and if there was still space, you could have a go. There was no space. So I am a law reject, happy about it now. But in the English class, English and literature, these were my favorite books. I loved the autobiography of Malcolm X for everything it was about racism and how one man stood up on behalf of everybody. You know, I was very proud and excited. And the exams were so easy. Afro-American literature, it was easy for me. I loved the story, so I could recount the story. Wuthering Heights was one of the most confusing. Old English literature, thou, how, whence. I just couldn't understand it, but I had to pass it. Give or take, I went through the course, and then I graduated. After graduation, everybody would ask me, what did you study? And I said, English and literature. What? You want to be a teacher? I'm like, no. But why did you read English? I'm like, are all English graduates teachers? So I went through all that, and then the job search started. See this? That's how it was. I wanted to work in a bank. Anybody could work in a bank. The banks were the highest paying at the time in Nigeria. So we would go to write a bank test, and it would be like this. Can you see this picture? There had to be barricades to block off the people who weren't invited to write the test. So people would tell me, oh, but you can go there. They're allowing people, you know, when the people who were invited go through, then the rest of you can troop in. And I'll join them. I was so tiny, I couldn't even come to the front. So we would struggle and fight until we got a space in the hall, write the tests. The banks would never call me. And so my mom said to me, while you're whiling away time and looking for jobs, I would apply to everywhere, the newspaper adverts, I'll take them. Sometimes some balloon companies would call me, oh, you want a job? We can give you a job. And I'll say, oh, there's a balloon company that wants me. Balloon? What are you going to be doing there? I just wanted a job. But then I wanted a bank job. My mom said to me, go start a postgraduate diploma in something. Go do a master's program. Just get busy. And so I got busy. And in class, I made a few friends. And every weekend, we had our lectures at the weekends. Every weekend, I would ask them, oh, please, are you employing? Is your office employing? And they'd say, oh, no, not yet, not yet. Until one of my friends came one day and said to me, there's a new company, and I think they're looking for people. It's called Econet, but you can try. She forgot to bring the address for 4 other weeks. So every weekend, did you bring the address? Oh, I forgot. Oh, I forgot. Until after 4 weeks, she brought it. That was me in the call center after I got the job with Econet. And that was my very first phone. Ericsson T20S. I would use this phone. At the time in Nigeria, there were no phones. So if you had a phone like this, you were big. You were rich. So I would use the phone even when there was only one BTS serving the whole environment. So we would be by the window trying to make a call, almost hanging through just to get a call across. But that was my entrance into the telco space. So in that, I made it through Econet, which was my first love as a call center customer service rep, where we would speak to all kinds of customers. The ones who would say, oh, you sound like a man. And someone else would say, oh, I like your voice. And, I would ask my supervisor, is this what we're going to be doing? And then someone would say, why did you stop the music? I was listening, I was enjoying the music. I said to myself, this can't go on for too long. And then an opportunity came out in roaming after about 13, 14 months in the call center. Apparently, somebody else had been picked for the job, so I was like the underdog. When I went in, after the first interview, I think everybody was destabilized. Wow, what happened? Who is this? I didn't know what I said. The internet wasn't very popular in the town at the time. I only managed to get Google through a business center just to find out what roaming was about. And I picked a few terminologies, Otadi, this, and I'll take that to the interview. I got there and they were, wow, oh, somebody in Nigeria knows this. I didn't know what I said. But I got the job and everybody else was surprised. Needless to say, we went from Econet to Celtel to Vodacom to V-Mobile to Zain, where I served in different roles, went through marketing, business assurance, revenue assurance, billing, retail roaming, SIM card management, the whole 9 yards. And I was very happy, but before I got happy, this is what happened to me. This was me at the call center, and this was me as a roaming personnel. This is how it looked to me, roaming. I said, what is this? When I got into MTN, and they said to me, this is what we're going to be doing. This is an HLR print. I said, what is that? These are codes I've never seen. I don't understand them. I am not an engineer. I want to leave. And that was me trying to run away. But there was no one else. And they said to me, you're staying here and you're doing this because you've been employed for this role. I started asking people, I think I want to leave this place. I don't like this thing. The codes are too many. There's too much to remember. What is 12, 13, 14, 21, SS7, tab 2+? It's too much. These codes look like gibberish to me. I was constantly confused. And then I had only one person who knew anything about this in the entire organization. And sometimes he would be confused. And I like to tell my tab 2+ story. The first time a tab file was generated, and we had to use rulers to find the date, the time, the exchange rate, all the way. It was the most laborious experience I had. And after that, I started getting used to it. I started loving it until I moved to MTN. And they said to me, here, roaming sits in network group. So you have to sit with all the people in network group, core network planning. You have to do what they do. You have to plan the network. You have to join the operations teams to troubleshoot and then to fix all the customers' problems. I pondered on this for a very long time. I would sit with the network teams in operations, and I got excited when they thought I was an engineer. I said, why do you think I'm an engineer? He said, oh, but you know everything about what we're talking about. And I'll say to them, I don't. I only know a few of these codes. They made me work with them day and night. After a while, I became the one-stop shop for all the vendors. Before anybody would pass through, they would say, go sit with her, and I would sit with them, ask questions. I realized sooner or later that it just took a lot of getting used to and loving it. My passion grew with each passing month. I started to enjoy what I did. I loved talking to partners. I loved sending the emails. And, some colleagues were just brilliant and very nice. I remember Travia, I remember June Driscoll, and so many of them. And I said to someone during lunch, when it came to LTE, the business wasn't asking you when you wanted to be trained. They were asking, when are we launching LTE? And it's on the wings of you that I have learned all that I have learned, and I've been able to deliver the business objectives, the goals, everything that was required. The relationships that I've built along the way are the things that helped me crack these codes. Because there would be times when I wouldn't know what are they saying, what am I supposed to see on the file. I would go to the info center, try to figure it out, call somebody who's done it, and then some of them would patiently take me through prior to the training. And so when I'm gone for the training, it would be easy peasy just because of people like you. And so now I'm getting awards at work. Oh, you're doing a fantastic job. You have launched 600 roaming partners. And on this particular day, I was with one of the bosses who just didn't like anything about roaming. This roaming just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It does this, it does that. I always have problems every time I travel. And so this was an award day. And he looked around the hall. He didn't see his favorite people. And he said, I'm going to pick one of my not-so-favorite people to give this award to. And then I'm giving you this award just because I have troubled you so much. And even though I don't say it often, you do so much. This is one of the very few times I've gotten any accolade for being a roaming personnel. And so I'd like to thank ROCCO especially for celebrating, because I know that this story isn't similar to just me. Every roaming manager or roaming executive or coordinator faces this all the time. You're the least sung, you're the least celebrated in the environment. And then because it's such a flat structure, it's hard to grow and to be the C-level. Not everybody will be there, but we will continue to love what we do, and we will continue to get the opportunities to celebrate ourselves and to celebrate what we do. So here am I now, talking to everybody about roaming, trying to fit it into enterprise, into consumer marketing, into customer service, billing, fraud, everywhere around the business. And there am I, as Chair African Roaming Alliance, with the support of all the African Roaming Alliance delegates and members. And I'll leave you with, if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, just keep it going, keep moving, fail forward, keep learning. I mean, it doesn't have to be in the big things, even if it's just developing a skill, a new idea, relating with people, just keep learning something new, keep trudging on, and the best is yet to come. Thank you.